Hello everyone, my name is Matt Scorpion and welcome to week 2 of the Solstice event. Now, unfortunately, that's all I can really say about it because that is literally all it is week 2 of 3. They haven't introduced anything else. Pretty much the only thing new to Solstice this week is what else is in the Eververse store. Now, I do apologize, I am feeling a bit sick right now, so if it's at all sounding weird, a little scratchy, or if I cough or sneeze, I'll do my best to avoid it, and probably won't edit it out just because, why would I do that? But aside from that, into the reset in what things to come, I'm going to be chopping off one or two things that take some time and effort. But starting off, we have Grandmaster Nightfalls, so it is the Corrupted right now, which is possibly one of the harder ones to do, but because of Acute Arc Burn and the introduction of Storm Chaser, as well as just a few other good exotic arc ones that are pretty powerful, it's a little bit easier to melt the boss, or at least do enough damage to the bosses and things throughout, and of course a pair of 8 Young Gauntlets will always make it easy enough with dealing with champions and providing heavy ammo. But aside from that, it does have Epitaph, which creates those little Wither Horde pools whenever you kill a Taken. That's annoying. Overload Unstoppable, it's a bit of an annoying combination, especially since Unstoppable is restricted to Scout Rifles, and it doesn't feel as good on there for some reason. Somehow, although there is several options of intrinsic Unstoppables, Leviathan's Breath, Devil's Ruin, Bastion, something for each slot if you have an exotic slot saved. But in addition to that, if you actually complete the Corrupted on the Grandmaster, you do have a chance at Horror's Least, at least according to Light.gg at time of recording, as well as its Adept version, which is a bit of a better PvP pulse rifle, but of course it is freshly redone with origin traits and the such, so I'd recommend at least getting your hands on one. But of course, next, there is actually something to do with Gambit because it is currently boosted Infamy, so if you have any reasons that you need Infamy ranks, now it is a bit of an easier time to go through them and finish that off. So if you need Infamy ranks for any reason, now is a good time to go do it. And including Crucible, we have no more Iron Banner, so don't expect it ever to show up again, at least until another month down the line, even and especially a few weeks into next season. But then we also have for our Rotators Clash in terms of just pure team deathmatch, and then we'll also have Trials back at the weekend per usual. Then, into our weekly Rotators for Dungeons and Raids, we do have Garden of Salvation for our active weekly raid. Now, I will stress this, that Pinnacle is only for completing. I don't think you'll get Pinnacle gear, at least from experience, you won't get Pinnacle gear until you get to the very end. But of course, all challenges are active and it is farmable in case there's any gear you want to farm for it. But the raid exotic for this one, as many of you all know, and for infamous reasons, this is not a random drop, it is a quest, so do not try to farm for the exotic, you will not get it, just do the puzzle. But in addition, we do have Pit of Heresy, which is another one that has a quest for its exotic. And this one is not too hard to solo if you're just looking for the Pinnacle, but of course, if you wanted to farm it out too. There's not too terrible weapons, but then again, most of the weapons in that dungeon are not unique to there. Let me just say that. Excuse me. But of course, moving throughout the rest of the world into the Throne World, for our challenge on Vow of the Disciple, it is Defenses Down, which is third encounter challenge. If you want to do that on Master Mode, that's basically only one person can kill each knight once during third encounter. And if you wanted to run on Master Mode, it is Resilience Focused Armor for those that want decent enough Titan builds, or just want to make their characters less squishy. But for the rest of the world, like I said, we'll check Vault of Glass Challenge, which is Strangers in Time, which is Gatekeeper Challenge, in case you needed a specific one. Now, moving into the Throne World, the last thing I'm going to check here is the weekly mission, and that is Last Chance, the second to last mission for the Witch Queen campaign for our weekly Rotator mission. Aside from that, I will no longer be covering the Wellspring and its rotation, just because that rotation, it is only 4 weapons, it's not something extravagant enough. If somebody needs one of these weapons, they'll keep an eye out for it. If they need a specific one, they know what day it is, and otherwise, you'll learn it on your own. But aside from that, that is pretty much everything in that world. But the last 2 things I wanted to check is the Legendary South Battleground, the first, that being in the EDZ for that rotation. And for Eternity, we have, for our rotating Legend mode, I missed the button, how noob of me. But we also have Taken Cabal and Zydron for those modes. Now, the last thing I wanted to check is the challenges, because the challenges have officially ceased for the season after today. We have 3 challenges: Haunting Cacophony, which is getting machine gun kills in the Derelict Leviathan and defeating powerful score in any Sever activity. So pretty much just grab a machine gun, just take it into Sever, kill score, and you'll probably knock those both out pretty quickly. Then Europa activities, which is basically completing bounties, patrols, polygon events, and lost sectors on Europa. Then we also have the Vanguard Ornament, which is essentially acquire the Vanguard Ornament for Chain of Command. If you don't know how to do that, essentially it's a reward from just running strikes. Through the first reset, you'll get access to the Chain of Command, and then after the second reset, you will reach rank 16 and earn it here. I just reached rank 13, or I just prestiged it one more time, so you won't see it, but it would be about here for your second run through of the Vanguard ranks. Now, the last thing I wanted to check on is some of the weaponry available, because there's not much else in reset that is available, at least that is unique or can be applicable. So in terms of weaponry, we have Legal Action, which is a very solid pulse rifle, especially in the high impact frame. Can 2-burst in PvP with you hit all 6 shots directly in the head, and I believe it's like a 9 resilience or lowercase. But of course, with all the restoration, it's hard to say whether or not this is worth it. Rolls with Adrenaline Junkie or Rampage are pretty good in terms of keeping the 2-burst consistent. Surplus on this feels amazing, I will say, because I have one this time. Then we also have NEOD, which is the bastard son of an Antiope. It's not a terrible submachine gun, but there are plenty of better ones, especially other ones that are not precision, but, you know, aggressive frames still feel better than this in this modern archetypes. So we also have a Vision. This stat roll is essentially one that stats out the wazoo for either things, but it's at the same time, you know, PvE, it's a water pistol. PvP, it just doesn't feel great at all unless you spam the hell out of it, then it's overpowered. You know how sidearms are. Then we have Contingency Plan, a very great scout rifle, especially in the rapid fire department. Rolls like this aren't terrible for PvP, or PvE, excuse me, but, and same for PvP maybe. But kill clip on this thing is nasty for Crucible, because if you get it procced, it is a 3-tap, and it's like if Luna's Howl was a scout rifle, if you remember those days. Then we also have Palmyra B, which is a rocket launcher. Solid enough roll here, but since this one is craftable, there's no real point in buying one except for a placeholder. I would recommend just crafting it and making a better one yourself. But Typhon, this is one that can't be crafted. It is a stasis grenade launcher that is brand new as of last season. It can get some great rolls, Demolitionist and what's the word? Adrenaline Junkie feeding off each other, as well as good other rolls. Always get spike nades is a good option per the usual. And it is stasis, so it can feed off stasis builds in case you need that for diamond lances and other such things. But that being said, my name is Mad Scorpion. That is everything for the reset, and I will see you in the next video.